Hey, how you doing? This is Tom, and this is Tom's Radio Room Show. I'm pretty excited today. I got a new toy, something that I've been looking at for probably 6 months, and I really wanted one, but I was hesitant because back then you could only get these from China, and there were a bunch of sellers, and the prices were all over the place. They were as low as $25 plus shipping all the way up to $100 for what looked like in the picture the same item. May not have been, that's the one thing about getting stuff off of eBay from China. Lots of knockoffs. So over the months, I've been watching other YouTubers get them, and the ones that said, they didn't have any problem, I asked them where they got them, what seller, and they would give me the seller, and I'd go there, maybe not right away, and the seller would be gone, or they weren't selling these anymore. You know, everybody found out about it, so they bought from that seller. So I kept putting it off. And then the good old virus came along, and you can't get hardly anything out of China for less than 2 months shipping. So that kind of squelched me. Well, a couple of days ago, I was on Amazon looking for things to review on my show, and they had this. Let me show it to you right now. I've babbled enough. Let me show you what it is. It won't be new to you. Most of you have seen other YouTubers reviewed it, or you have one yourself. This is the MegaLoop MLA-30 Plus. This is the newer one, supposedly. Loop antenna, and it consists of this electronics box. This is the rolled up or coiled up loop. I think it's about 3 foot in diameter once you uncoil it. It attaches with these ends right here. There's two of them. Two right here and right here. And then this is about 20 to 25 feet of coax cable that attaches not necessarily directly to your radio, but to this other stuff, which is a power supply, and I think there might be a little amplification here, I don't know. And that, through this cable, supplies power to this box. That's something that's have been used in like TV antennas with a preamp up on the post for years. And then the other connector uses a short cable to go to your radio. And then they supply you with this USB cable, which plugs in up here to provide power to this unit, and eventually power to this unit. Let me zoom in a little bit. Get you a closer look here. There we go. Move things up a little bit. So that's the components. Right now, you can still find these on eBay. Like I say, there's a couple hundred vendors, and the prices still vary. And Danny, who has a YouTube channel, about a month ago did a review of this Plus one, and he put in his description the link to the seller he bought it from. I went there, and that particular seller was not selling this anymore, or he was out. So couldn't get it from there. And then when I saw that opportunity to get one from Amazon, and because of my great subscribers and viewers that use my Amazon store, of which the link is below each of my descriptions, I had some credits on my Amazon account from purchases that I made a commission off. And so I had the money available. So I said, go for it, man. 1 day shipping. 1 day shipping. Now, they're probably out now because it said something about there's only 3 left or something like that. So I got this a couple of days ago. And I'm excited to try it out. Now, what I'm going to do is I have I think it's about a 13-foot fiberglass telescopic fishing pole. Have you've seen me use it before in my field test. And I won't extend the last section because that's pretty small. Maybe even not the last two. I'll let it come down to where it's pretty significant diameter so it can hold the weight of this and the weight of this. There's no weight to this. And I'm curious to see, with this being as small a diameter as it is, whether it's going to do a very good job. Now, I remember 20 years ago, loop antennas were the craze. And the loop was made out of like 1/2-inch copper pipe. So a big, heavy, massive loop. MFJ sold one that a lot of people bought. And then in subsequent years, you saw a lot of them for sale. And amateur radio operators were buying it to both receive and transmit. Maybe it didn't work so good on transmit, so that's why they were reselling it. But anyway, I'm curious to how this little thin wire is going to do for a receiving only loop. So that'll be interesting. Other thing is, this coax cable is tiny and lightweight. I don't know how that's going to do, how much loss there's going to be in this cable. I think it's about 20 to 25 feet. That's what one person said. And it's directly wired into the electronics inside this thing. No connector. Now that's good and bad. The good part is it removes another connection. Anytime you go through a connector or an adapter, you're going to lose signal. How much? I don't know. Plus, with this thing mounted like this properly, the chances of water getting in to either the coax cable or the electronics are pretty nil, because the water's going to come down, it's going to run off, it might hit this cable, but it's going to run down. So that's an advantage. The disadvantage is you can't connect higher quality cable. There's no connector here. Now, I've seen other people where they took this thing apart, put in a B and C connector, because that's all you got room for, and then they could add whatever cable they wanted to. That's a possibility. I ain't going to do that. I ain't going to open this because supposedly this is sealed, watertight, so the water won't get in. You open this up, you may lose that. Probably have to put some silicone back in there to try to keep it sealed. I don't know. Other question is are these stainless steel? I live in Florida, and the humidity also contains some salt, because I'm about 10 miles maybe from the Gulf of Mexico. So the air has salt in it. And I do have problems with cheap connectors like this rusting. So I may use one of my favorite tools, which is liquid tape, to tape once I get the antenna hooked on, to tape over that. I won't do that initially, but because it might affect some. But I might do it if I'm going to leave this up, which I most likely will, because I've got about 13 or 14 antennas up right now, which I have said, because I put them up for testing, I have said this is temporary setup. And some of them have been temporarily set up for years. So that'll probably be what happens to this. Although I will not leave it. If it works good, I will not leave it on that telescopic pole. I'll put it on some other pole more substantial, because it's not real weighty, and I think it's plastic, but it's a little bit of weight. So if we get a lot of wind, which we normally get in Florida, this could possibly bend that telescopic pole. I want to get the maximum height I can out of the telescopic pole. So it's going to be, one of the sections is still going to be fairly narrow, maybe a ½ an inch in diameter. So it's got these mounting holes, which I'll use some tie wraps to mount it to the pole, and then I'll mount the top of this, of the big loop, I'll mount to the top of the telescopic section. I also saw a video that said this gentleman here, which provides maybe preamp, maybe a little amplification, maybe all the amplifications here, but it provides power to the electronics here. One gentleman said that this creates noise, and it could be because of this guy here and what you plug this into. If you plug this into a USB device, power device, that has noise on it, that could be causing the problem that he saw. So that's another experiment. The good part, as he pointed out, is that the SDR Play SDRs, some of them have a power out on their one of their antenna connections that can power this thing. So you don't have to use this. That'll be interesting. Now, I'm going to play it safe. Since we're talking about power in the antenna wire, which supposedly this is going to eliminate that power going to your receiver by this cable here, or if you're using the SDR Play, it has the electronics to provide power and preventing power coming into the receive section of the SDR. I'm going to start with the RTL SDR, the $25 dongle. In case something is amiss in this guy or this guy, that's going to send power to the SDR and burn its preamps out. So I'm going to play it safe. I'm going to do that test first to see if it's functional. And then if it appears to be functional, then I'll hook it up to other radios, including the SDR Play SDRs. So that's it. That's where I'm at. I'm finally going to do it. I've gotten to the point now where I'm very cautious about things. Even if it's not a big expense, this is like, I think it was like $54, $55 total. Not a big expense, but it could potentially damage a $300 SDR, and I don't want it to do that. So I'm going to take it step by step by step. So I'm going to have multiple shows on this. And I appreciate any feedback, any comments, or you can send me an email to TRRS73@gmail.com about this setup. You know, if you tried one and it was a bummer, let me know. Because based on all the ads on eBay, you know, this is a little sticker. And they could easily have nothing or junk inside here and just put those little stickers on. And then, like I say, damage your equipment. So I welcome feedback. I know I'm late to the game here. I think Danny's radio show, his channel, he did a review of the original, I believe, several months ago. And last month, he did a review of the 30 Plus, which once again sparked my interest. And that's why I'm here. That's it. If you enjoyed this show, please give me a thumbs up and have a great day. Bye-bye.